Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today I have a story that will truly touch your heart and perhaps open your eyes to what really matters in life. It's a story about wealth, pride, and a debt that could never be repaid with money alone. Once upon a time, nestled in a neighborhood where luxury was the norm, stood a magnificent mansion. This was the home of Daniel and Sophia, a couple who seemingly had it all. Money for them could buy everything, or so one of them thought. Daniel was a self-made millionaire, a man who had clawed his way up from the depths of poverty. His success was built on grit, determination, and an unwavering work ethic. Yet, despite his immense wealth, he remained a kind and soft-spoken soul, never forgetting the struggles that shaped him. You see, Daniel's journey wasn't a solo one. In his childhood, when he had nothing, there was one person who stood by him like a guardian angel, Mrs. Grace, his nanny. She was more than just a caregiver. She was the woman who fed him when he was hungry, protected him from the harsh realities of his early life, and loved him as if he were her own son. She was his rock, his family. Years passed, and as Daniel's fortune grew, the memory of her unwavering kindness remained etched in his heart. One sunny afternoon, filled with nostalgia and gratitude, Daniel decided it was time to reconnect with the woman who had given him so much. He extended an invitation for her to visit his home, a place she could have only dreamed of when she was raising him. After years apart, the day finally arrived. Mrs. Grace appeared at the grand entrance, her clothes humble and worn, but her smile as warm and radiant as the sun. Her eyes, full of pride and affection, scanned the opulent surroundings, finally landing on the boy she had raised, now a man of great stature. But as Daniel welcomed her with a heartfelt embrace, a shadow fell over the warm reunion. His wife, Sophia, stood nearby, her expression frozen in a look of pure disgust. She surveyed Mrs. Grace from head to toe, her gaze lingering on the simple dress and worn-out shoes. "Daniel, why did you bring this old maid into our house?" she asked, her voice dripping with ice. She didn't bother to lower her voice. She wanted everyone at their afternoon gathering to hear. An uncomfortable silence descended upon the lavishly decorated living room. The guests, all dressed in designer clothes, shifted awkwardly. Mrs. Grace's warm smile faltered, and her eyes, which had been shining with joy just moments before, began to well up with tears. The public humiliation was a cruel, unexpected blow. Sophia, emboldened by the silence, continued her attack. She openly mocked Mrs. Grace's simple attire and her gentle, unpretentious manners, comparing her unfavorably to their elite circle of friends. Each word was a dagger, piercing the heart of the gentle old woman who had only ever shown love. Throughout this painful ordeal, Daniel stood perfectly still. He didn't interrupt. He didn't raise his voice. He simply watched, his expression unreadable, as his wife relentlessly tore down the woman who had built him up. He saw every cruel word land. He saw the tears silently trace paths down Mrs. Grace's wrinkled cheeks, and he saw the shame and confusion in her eyes. The guests held their breath, waiting for an explosion, for Daniel to defend his guest, to put his wife in her place. But instead of shouting, a faint, almost melancholic smile touched Daniel's lips. He turned to Sophia, his voice calm but carrying a weight that silenced the entire room. "You're right, Sophia," he said softly. The guests exchanged bewildered glances. Sophia's lips curled into a triumphant smirk. "Maybe she doesn't belong here." He paused, letting the weight of his words hang in the air before delivering the final stunning blow. "Because this house is hers now," a collective gasp echoed through the mansion. Sophia's face went from smug satisfaction to utter disbelief. Her jaw dropped. Daniel walked over to a stunned Mrs. Grace, gently took her hand, and placed a set of keys and a folder of documents into it. "This is for you, Mrs. Grace," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Everything. The house, the cars, all of it." He then turned back to face his wife and their guests, his calm demeanor now radiating an undeniable authority. "This woman," he declared, his voice ringing with conviction, "sacrificed her youth, her energy, and her own dreams so that I could have a life. She fed me with the little she had. She protected me when I was vulnerable. She gave me a childhood. Today, I'm simply trying to give back a fraction of what she gave me, everything I have." The room was frozen in time. Sophia's face had turned a ghastly shade of pale. The reality of what was happening began to sink in. She was losing everything, not because of a bad investment or a market crash, but because of her own arrogance and cruelty. Daniel looked directly at her, his eyes filled not with anger, but with a profound sadness. "Love, kindness, and respect are worth more than all the gold in this house, Sophia. That's a lesson I learned from her, not from a balance sheet." Overwhelmed, Mrs. Grace threw her arms around Daniel, sobbing tears of gratitude and love. He held her tightly, the way she used to hold him when he was a small, scared boy. In that embrace, surrounded by the cold marble and glittering chandeliers, was the only warmth that truly mattered. Sophia could only watch, her head bowed in a crushing wave of shame and regret. She had mistaken wealth for worth, and in one afternoon she had lost both. The story of Daniel's incredible act of gratitude didn't stay within the walls of that mansion. It spread like wildfire across the internet, becoming a viral sensation. It served as a powerful modern-day parable, a reminder to millions that true wealth isn't measured by what's in your bank account, but by the richness of your heart and the gratitude you show to those who have helped you along the way. It reminds us all that kindness is the ultimate currency. What do you think of Daniel's decision? Was it too extreme, or was it the perfect lesson in humility? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you would have done in his situation. If this story moved you and made you think, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content that inspires and makes you feel. And don't forget to share this story with someone who might need to hear it. Because one act of kindness once shared has the power to change the world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.